Okay, I think we're here. All right. I was trying to get a transition figured out so I didn't have to manually do this, but still working on that. Anyways, welcome back. We are on episode 38, and I think it's fifth episode on our us building a skill together.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
Before we get started, do you got anything at all?
No, nothing too exciting. Kind of a quiet week on my end. I don't want to say it too loud, but kind of a nice one. Did the
Nice.
whole Halloween trick or treating thing,
Mm-hmm.
and that was always fun. But yeah, now we're hopping into November and getting colder and winding down
Mm,
a little bit.
yeah,
So nothing too exciting though.
unfortunately. All right. Cool. I got some stuff to share later, so I'll do that later.
Perfect.
Um,
Perfect.
uh, I thought I was ready, but I wasn't. We are
No worries.
on what? We are on five?
So we are actually on module 6, I think. I think we
Six.
are at the point where we need to get and pass the device ID to API.
Neat.
And so while you just pull that up real quick, I'm going to read the little blurb that it has. And it says, if in your skill Alexa says good morning at 3 p.m. or good evening at 3 a.m., the experience won't feel natural or conversational. And so that's what we're going to avoid. We're going to create, or we're actually going to utilize this API, the Alexa settings API, in order to have things connect a little bit better to Greenwich Mean Time. So that way, everything kind of has a little bit of a standardization and kind of has that conversational feel.
Neat.
So
All
whenever
righty.
you are ready, yep.
All right.
So,
Everything's looking good except for
cool.
I'll use this banner since I never switch those up. Alrighty. We are starting with first add the API client. So we go down to the bottom of the code where it sort of on the bottom of the file above the
Yep.
very last line, lambda, and paste this code right here. Um,
Right. So because we're going with JavaScript, we'll do that index.js file. Scroll down to the bottom, and then we'll just put dot lambda left parenthesis, right parenthesis.
so here it is
And
right here, lambda right here.
yep.
And are we replacing? No, no, it just
So
says right above it,
we are
right?
gonna,
Right
yeah,
above
right
it.
above that dot lambda, we're gonna throw in dot with API client. That little line of code right there.
Okay. And let me increase it. It's right down at the bottom. It's kind of hard. I can't scroll any down. I suppose I could put some enters on returns on the bottom here so we can kind of see it. So, yeah, it's the second to last line is where I put it. I'm going to
Nice.
save it.
Perfect. So by doing that, we've added that API client. So
Nice.
kind of like how, yeah, same thing with persistence adapters, interceptors, all that stuff. It's all right there. Um, so then what we're going to do, this is going to be broken down into kind of some sub steps here. But to add the rest of the code to the launch request handler, we're going to scroll back up near the top of that index.js file.
Okay.
And once we find that, we are going to, uh, there should be a handle function within that handler, within the launch request handler.
Okay.
And we are going to replace the handle left parenthesis handler input. We're going to replace that and put in some code here. And this
Oh,
is
I
probably something you'll
see.
want to copy and paste. It's pretty involved here.
So the reason why we're replacing this entire handle is because it's becoming asynchronous. So
Mhm.
um, wait a minute. I replaced too much. Uh, so it's pretty much just right above this handler and the speak output is what I
Great.
believe we are. Yes. And then we'll probably be doing something with this greeting. Let's kind of break this down a little bit.
Mhm.
Excuse me. This is a getting the service client factory. Not really sure exactly what it entails, but that's what it does. I'm sure it has a bunch of stuff, useful stuff you can use with it. We're getting the device ID. Um,
Yes. Yep.
so each device has an ID, um, and then we're just setting some variables. Then we have a try catch, and we're using that service client factory to um, get this UPS servant client set up.
Right.
And then we're getting the actual user time zone using this UPS service client and their device ID. So we're getting their time
Yep.
zone. If there isn't a time zone, if we didn't get one, we're just going to console log that it's an error.
Right. Yep.
So if there is an error, we're just going to say hello. Otherwise, if you're in this, um, if it's, then we break it down what hour it is um, for your time zone. And if it's in between these numbers, it says hi night all. These numbers, good morning. These numbers, good afternoon. These numbers, good evening. Else,
Yep.
we're just saying howdy partner. And this else is just in case you already didn't set it with one of these other ones. Um,
Exactly. It's kind of covering all the bases. Yep.
yep.
Yeah. Really good
And
breakdown. Really good.
oh, I always get ahead of myself. But this probably gives it a little bit more in depth because you added the service client factory feature of the SDK so that you can create the client that or client you need for the API service you call. It
Right.
saves you from having to know a lot of smaller configuration details and add them to the script. That is nice.
Hmm.
Then you
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
pass the client ID, device ID, uh, which is sent to every request in the request envelope. And next, you initialize a couple of variables like I went over. So,
Hmm.
um, and then time zone. This is like America, New York is an example. And I think I covered everything else pretty well. Need
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
touch
Yeah.
anything else?
No, I think you did cover it very well. We, I don't know what all is in that um, service client factory. Like, I don't know what
Right.
all pieces. I'm sure you could look it up, but it kind of sets that framework or that foundation for anything that we would need in this case. So it's nice that they give that to you, but there's always documentation. And if you are utilizing an API, I mean, you would have a better idea of what you're looking to do with it. So, um, but yeah, the whole breakdown of the hours is nice to see. That way, you get specific responses for different times of the day, and you can tell where it's actually using the 24-hour clock instead of the AM PM. So that's something to be aware of as well. But other
Yes,
than
for
that, yeah,
sure.
I think we're ready to jump on.
Um, so this is another one of those things where we didn't put this in last time. So they said replace this chunk of code, but we didn't even have that chunk of code.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah.
so there's that. We don't even have session attributes, and as we did this last time, we have to just initialize it. I usually initialize it up at the top.
Right.
Um, oh, we don't even have speak output initialized either. I like this comma separated variables. I need to do that a lot more often. Um, I'm learning quite a bit about the different ways to code stuff. It's great.
Yeah, yeah.
Alrighty.
Let's
I
see.
think
I'm gonna flip
that's.
my screen here. I'm gonna flip my screen back to our view. See where you're at here. So you just added all those speak outputs,
Yep, I put that in
and
there.
cool. So we're gonna jump on to number 4 then. Cool.
In the upper right hand corner, you click save and then deploy. All right.
Perfect.
I'm always hitting Control S, so you won't normally have to do that. But yeah, I if you can constantly hit Control S, you don't have to hit save. Um, but it's just out of habit.
That's a good habit though, for sure.
And the one thing that I've noticed that you have to be within the code editor when you hit Control S. Otherwise, it'll try to save a web page. I think I mentioned that
Right.
before, but it's good to say again.
Absolutely.
Hi, Night Owl. Welcome back to Cake Time. Ready to guess some more celebrity birthdays?
So at this point, we're gonna give it a good test.
So it says, "Hi Night Owl, welcome to Cake Time. Ready to get some more birthdays?" Yes.
In what month and year was Nicolas Cage born?
Um, September 1972.
Sorry. You didn't get the right month and year for Nicolas Cage. Maybe you'll get the next one. Want to try another?
So close. So close.
No, I don't want to try another, but I think we can continue on with we tested the launch, so that's good. Oh
Mhm.
wow, that was super short. Um,
Yeah, it looked like a lot of code that we would really have to break down, but there wasn't a whole lot to it. I
yeah,
was kind of surprised when
it
we
was just
last week
mainly
when we
that.
had looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, last
Yeah,
week when we had looked at it, it looked pretty complex into what we were going to get into, and um, if you were building something a little more involved or a little more complex, you would definitely spend a lot more time digging into that section. So
for sure.
that section module number 6 is very good at giving you a very basic foundation. But again, if you're going to start building on top of that or incorporating multiple APIs, you'll definitely need to spend a lot more time inside of that. Um,
Sure.
so for us, it was very quick, but I guess at this point we'll jump right into part 3, which would be the fun part of distribution, preparing your skill for distribution, certification, and being published.
Just one
So I,
other thing I was gonna say is you could another way is this actually is probably the best way without using external libraries. But another way is external libraries.
Yeah.
like um, I'm blanking on the one I use. But anyways, there's other options. Is all I was trying to say that you could also do here. But yes, let's wrap it up. Um, all right, we don't need that. We go to the next module. Is
Mhm.
did you want to take it away here? What we're going to be doing here?
Yeah. So in this next step, we are going to be giving it our skill a public name. We're going to give it a little bit of a description, both a one sentence and a more detailed description. We're going to talk about the different phrases that can be launched. So basically, what we're doing is setting up our Alexa skill store page.
Very
So
neat.
if somebody searches for your skill, we're providing the information that will be on that page.
Cool.
So I'm gonna flip back over here to Twitch. What was that,
Excuse
Will?
me. That's it.
Oh, sorry.
Nothing. Um. All right. So this tab is in distribution tab.
Mhm.
The first one was the build tab. That's where we were setting up our intents, our slots, all that kind of stuff. Then our code is where our code is, our code editor. That's also where we get access to S3 Bucket, Dynamo, um, and CloudWatch, all that kind of stuff. That's on the code tab. Test tab is obviously the test tab. You can see your skill, you can hear your skill, all that kind of stuff. And then distribution is where we're going to be at now. We are calling it bean time, I guess. And then we need a short description,
Yep.
as we're stated. So,
So the
um,
example says
yeah,
if you just want to follow, I mean, maybe you can.
yeah,
I don't think you can copy and paste from
you
there, but
can't.
just as a trivia game where you can guess celebrity birthdays. But I don't think we're actually gonna, because you and I have had this conversation
Yeah,
before,
we're
Will.
not actually
Just because we
publishing
could doesn't mean we should.
where we
So
you can guess celebrity birthdays. All right. And that, yeah, so the one sentence is one sentence. It's short and sweet. It
mhm.
has only a max of 160 characters. Um, but then your detailed description, that is where your everything that you want to let the user know about your skill. Let's say there are uh, 30 celebrity uh, uh, celebrities that you can guess their birthdays, something like that, or like um, see if you can top the leaderboard with your celebrity knowledge, something like that. So yeah, you can put whatever you want. And what I've noticed is it will take small inline code. So you could do
Okay.
backslash n, that will be a new line, and then backslash n again, that will be
Yep.
indented. But you have to have it all. You can have a space here, but you have to have it all on one line. You can't hit enter. Actually, you can hit enter in here, but you can't hit enter like if you're doing this in VS Code. But in here, it's a little bit more allows you to do more stuff.
Okay.
So you can do that. You can also put spaces in here. If you want a bullet point or maybe like an asterisk, you can do that. If you have a list, I don't know what I was talking about bullet point because I can't think of anything. Yeah, maybe a period, but that would be weird. Another way you can do is there's some emojis that work within text emojis. They have to be like ASCII text emojis or something like that. Though some of them work in here, you just have to test out which ones. I know there's a skull and crossbones that I've used. I think there's like a little magic thing that I've used.
Okay.
So you just kind of test out in here, and then what you do is you look on your phone before you actually publish it to see what it looks like on your developer portal on your phone.
Nice. Smart.
So yeah, so that's a great ideas there.
So here's my next question, Will,
Yep.
is if you are going to search for a skill, um, does it pull or is it searching from your description or is it looking for, I guess, I guess it would potentially pull from your description. Let's say if I go to the search bar and I'm searching for, let's say, powers fighter skill,
Mhm.
right? And if I would type in, um, I don't want to use those exact
Fighting,
words.
or
Yeah, yeah. It would be pulling from that description potentially.
it could be. I really don't know the uh for sure, but there is a
Right.
keywords section down here, which I know does help with that search engine optimization.
Okay. Okay.
So I would highly use all the, use all 30
Every
keywords.
keyword you could. Okay. Right.
So yeah, I would put in keywords here. Category. This is it's a game. What? There's many different types of games. I this is new to me. What type of game is it?
Yeah. Uh, Trivia? Is there trivia? Or quiz, maybe. Quiz game might be
Oh
what it
yeah,
is.
quiz. Um, I gotta look at that on my other skills. But anyways, yeah, you pick your category. Oh, before we get too far down the rabbit hole,
Mhm.
um, we have to put this here. So we do have the wake word a, um, which doesn't make sense to me at all because there are other um,
Wake words.
wake. There's other wake words, and yeah, but these other examples don't have them. So
Right.
I'm not sure. You have to have at least um, the wake word has to be capitalized. Yeah, that shouldn't be a thing. Um, what bean time? So open bean time. You have to have the a word. Like I said, that doesn't make any sense, but you have to have at least one of these. You don't have to have three. I believe so. This one says optional. Yeah, this one says optional as well.
Right, right. And if you get stuck or you need some clarification on these, you can always click that little question mark
Yeah,
to kind
exactly.
of figure out what you're looking for. Because sometimes this can be particular.
Especially when you the um when you submit it, they can also be particular about your launch phrases. So this is another thing is here's a great help right here that um, yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah, just an additional resource that they built into it, which is
mhm.
fantastic.
All right, now the keywords, like I said, is very important. So we could be celebrity. It could be bean or
Right.
beans. Time.
Yeah.
Celebrities.
Yeah,
Celebrities.
this is where I struggle a little bit. How many variations of the word do I throw in here? But I
I mean,
can have 30. Is it 30?
yeah,
Yeah, 30.
30,
I can have
30.
30.
So, I mean, if you're running out of ideas, yeah, you want to have all the variations. A good thing, there is a Google tool out there. I'm blanking on what it is right now, but you can like search on Google for a keyword finder or keyword lookup or something like that, and that
Okay.
will help you with your keywords as well. That's always helped me. So,
Sure.
um, yeah, I would try that.
Cool.
Um,
What's that next one, Will?
yeah, I know. I'm just making sure I haven't skipped over anything. I have not. Okay, so um, the next one is privacy policy. You do not need a privacy policy unless uh, your skill has private information. But if you have private information on your skill, like you grab the first name of the customer, but then you submit it and then take it out, you still have to have a privacy policy here, even though you're not still acquiring that private information. You still have to keep this privacy policy in here. You have to make sure it's valid as well. A lot of people just put it on a S3 bucket and have a grab the URL or for that if
Mhm.
that works, or you can put it on GitHub. GitHub has pages where you can get stuff utilize.
Right. You just need to
Um,
make sure it's publicly accessible.
yes, exactly. So any of those work, and also you want to make sure you are saying something about privacy policy and terms of use. So you want to make
Ah,
sure both of these are actually acknowledged that that's what this is for.
perfect.
There is many different privacy policies out there that you can just grab. I believe Amazon used to have one as a template. I don't know if they still do, but yeah.
That's a good question. I'm not sure. Hmm.
Um, oh, yeah, completely forgot about this. The next one is your icon. So
Yes.
it's really fun. I like making custom icons, but
Mhm.
if your mind is just fried from all the coding and you're like, I just want to get this out there, there's this great tool that Amazon put out. The A team has, you can pick a icon from all these icons here, right here. You can change the background. You can change the border around the circle. You can change the icon color. You can change the rotation. You
Yeah.
can have an
Yeah.
icon shadow. Uh, you can also change the opacity of said shadow. You can do a lot of stuff for being a free tool. This is pretty excellent. I utilize this with all my ISPs. Uh, Most of the time, I'm not trying to be creative with my ISP ones, so I'll just make one quick with this,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah. The only point that I'll make about this is, while it is robust in that you can choose a lot of colors, some gradients, like you said, that icon rotation, those types of things. These almost to me, when I'm looking for a skill, blend in sometimes.
Oh
So I think
yes.
it is sometimes good to put in that extra effort to come up with a custom icon,
Hmm.
because not only can you create this microphone and tilt it to the left, I could go in, create my skill, and have that same exact microphone, same exact gradient and hue and color, and I'll just, I could have it, at 331 also, or I could have it at, 10.
Hmm.
But we would have the very similar icon. Completely different skills, but very, very similar icon. So
You
just
couldn't
something to be
ever
aware of.
match this gradient ever.
I don't know that I want to. I'm getting some Hulk vibes, though, but I like it.
Yeah. All right. Yes, very good point. Uh, that is why I like to always custom make mine, um, and it's fun. At least I think it's fun. So, I
Yeah,
mean, if you're
yeah.
very
I'll
creative,
enjoy
anyways, you're making a skill. You do have a creative side. Might as well utilize it. So,
exactly. Yep.
um, what?
So that being said, I think we're at the point where we're gonna just do a little bit of confirmation, right? We're gonna jump into the section that talks a little bit. Where did it go? It is about availability. So whether it's public or for an organization, we're going to get into
We also have some.
privacy and
Yep.
compliance. Yep.
Yep. So
So
I just I was on the so each uh, area that you have your skill. This is only in the United States. If it's in Canada, the UK, wherever, you'll have a one of these cards.
almost like a questionnaire. Yeah.
Yeah, questionnaire about each section, each area you're
Mm.
in. But then you go to privacy and compliance. Um, it and it asks you some questions. Does the skill allow users to make purchases or spend real money? So if you have an ISP on this your skill, you'll have to click yes.
Mm.
Does it have shopping actions? That's a new thing that just went live, I believe, this year
Yeah. Yeah.
um, in Alexa Live. So if you have shopping actions, you have to select yes or no. Does this collect personal information? This is where I was saying if it has the name, the email, password, phone number,
Hmm.
whatever. If you're collecting personal information, you have to click yes. It's not always if you are grabbing it from an API or anything like that. Even if you're like having them save a password or save an email address or tell you their phone number um, through the skill, you will then have to click yes.
Right.
Um, is this directed or does it target children under 13? so that there's a lot of loopholes for children's skills, or not loopholes, loops, hoops. Oh my gosh,
Hoops.
hoops.
Hoops. Yep. Hoops.
There's not loopholes. There's a lot of hoops to get a children skill published, but I mean, it's a great thing. We need a lot more of these children skills.
Right.
So do it. Does it contain advertising? So I've only seen one skill in my time that does contain advertising. Um, I no, I've seen a few other ones, but uh, it was like more for their other skills. But the one I was
Yeah.
referring to actually had advertising for something else. So,
Okay.
um,
Hmm.
so if it contains
Interesting.
advertising, you have to make sure you have yes, um, and then you have to be compliant, and then give any testing instructions. This is very important. So,
Yes.
uh,
Yes.
if there's something specific that the QC needs to check, uh, make sure you have it in here. Like
Right.
added name handler or something like that. Or if it's our skill, we would just say um, uh, launch skill. Say yes to the question. Say a month and year to the birthday question,
Hmm.
and continue for 5 times, something like that.
Right. Right. Because they aren't going to go and dig through all of your code to figure out how to make it function or how to reach a certain point. This is just for them to get their feet under them to just do some initial basic testing.
Exactly. And then we're going to continue to availability. Now, this is if it's going to be public or A for business organization. Um, you can opt in for local distribution, but I've never seen this actually work. So, whatever. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then there's where would you like this available in all countries or regions where A distribution skills, or you can select the countries. Um,
Hmm.
and if you have only one locale, if you have English US, it will be in the United States. So that's where it will be. Um, that's pretty much it for this one. Besides beta test, just briefly test on or touch on this. Um,
Yes, please. Yeah.
oh, beta
Have you
test is not available for the skill. Um,
if you open that up, it should give you the option for entering a few email addresses. I think you
I
can do
think I think it's on
500.
this next page. Is where
Oh,
those are. Oh no, we have just a bunch of uh, we have a bunch of errors. We didn't complete everything. That's why it's said it's not available. But
right.
this is just a good thing to touch on. This is a great tool that will catch these errors that uh, you might glanced over, like I did, or just ran through it and not cared. But it tells you what you missed, what you have to make sure you do, check and click, and all that kind of stuff. Um,
Hmm.
some other things, you might have errors in your why can't I ever think of it, your um interaction model.
Oh, okay.
In your English interaction model or something like that, that it will also validation will also catch. Um, and you just fix the errors and then click it again because you want to make sure that is checked before submitting because it's an automation checker. And if you do submit it without rechecking it, you will more likely get it back because you might have missed something.
Right.
And that's just frustrating. So it's great to make sure you check it again after fixing the errors. And then after that, yeah, you can hit submit. You can submit for. It won't let me go to that page because we have those errors. But
Right.
uh, you can submit just for them to QC your skill, to look at it and make sure everything's running. Um, this is great if you have like uh, some fixes you want to implement. You can just
Hmm.
have them look at it, and then when you're ready to push them live, you can push them live when you want to. Or you can, like,
Right.
let's
Right.
say you're prepping for Christmas time and
Mhm.
you have something Christmas themed already programmed in your skill, um, and you just want them to make sure everything's working fine. You can also submit them to just look at it, and then you publish it whenever you wish, after you get it back.
Right. Right.
Or you can have them look at it and have them publish it the same time.
Yep.
That's what
Yep.
mostly I do because I'm mostly fixing some bugs. So I want them to publish it as soon as possible and get it out there.
Yeah.
Uh, but those are some uh, great things. Going back to the beta test, I know I didn't touch on that as much. So if your skill doesn't have any errors like ours does, you'll be able to, like Kevin was saying, put some emails in a box
Right.
and have them test out your skill. Um, Mostly, you can have your friends, family, whatever, test out your skill. You can also have people on the Slack channel. There's a special channel just for beta testing. You can reach out to your friends on Discord or whatever, social
Right.
media. You just need
So
an email address that is associated with their Amazon account.
yeah. So I haven't utilized beta testing. Um, but how do you get feedback from beta testing? Is it just because you have their email address and there's just an email, or is there a portal system for feedback?
No, the
Like
way you
if
get feedback is emailing them back and forth. Yep,
okay,
bothering them on Discord,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
that kind of stuff, or texting them, "Hey, give me my feedback."
yeah.
I
It would
never got
almost be
that
neat to just
feedback
be.
oxygen box if you're in the channel.
It would be nice to have a little bit of a portal at some point too. That um, if you're a beta tester, it would flag it somehow, and then you could give some verbal feedback, and then you could log in or something. That'd be kind of a neat little thing,
Hmm.
just to kind of
Yeah,
condense all
unfortunately.
of your feedback into one spot. But yeah, yeah, maybe someday. Maybe someday.
Hmm.
But other than that, I think we've covered all of the bases.
We are
You can check the status.
we are done. Yes, you can check the status
Mhm.
of your skill um on the
Which,
submission
if you're like
tab.
me, you just hit refresh every 10 seconds.
If what I've noticed with my skills, if they're live, um, it might be a couple days, and then I'll get it back.
Okay.
Sometimes it'll be the next day, and I'll get it back.
Hmm.
But most of the time, it's a couple days, and it's weekdays, and no work
Yeah.
weekdays, no weekends, not usually. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, so there
Yeah.
is an optional to roll back your to a previous version, which I've had to do once. I can't remember why, but I had to do that once.
Okay.
You can always also revise and update your skill for publication,
Always important.
hide or remove your skill, and yeah, let's go to wrap up and resources.
Perfect.
So they
So,
have this design guide um,
mhm.
that is great. I'll share with everyone for
Yep.
some nice reading. Um, this also mentions a streak counter. Huh.
Oh, under the resources, right? Right.
That's actually what I do. And it didn't help me with my retention. So,
Hmm.
um, try another one. No, no, it is a good thing. Anything to bring back help bring back your customers is a great idea. Street counter is a great idea. Another thing is if you have rewards, daily rewards, that's always great. Um,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
And
ISPs and skill purchases, those are great if you want to start earning money.
mhm.
Were
Yeah.
you going to say something,
And
Kevin?
I was gonna say it's nice to see that they updated this doc as well, or this section,
Hmm.
because they've included the Slack channel, the alexa.design/Slack. They have that up here, and they also have the new Alexa Labs, so where you can try that new and experimental features. They have a
Oh,
GitHub
yes.
repo there, so it's nice to see that this has really been brought up to the current standards.
Hmm.
Um, because before, like I said, it was you were kind of having to figure out what they meant with this, and the screenshot that they had didn't match the console that we had at the time, and
Hmm.
so it's nice to see everything is now one to one and really clean and definitely polished up a bit. So,
Yep.
but that
I will
that's a skill
also,
development. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'll also share this Slack community group as well.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, that is it. We built a skill and it was great. I
Yeah, I
enjoyed
mean,
it.
it's I did too. I did too. It was we took our time with it. We really went through it and understood pieces and parts, and then put those together in order to give you the big picture. It's a very basic skill, but it has some functionality that would be utilized in a multitude of skills. being able to pull information, to check that information, and then even with the API that we did today with giving the time. So if you're playing in the morning, it says good
Mm-hmm.
morning. If you're playing in the evening, it's good evening. So we really covered a lot of ground in a small little quick skill.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're building your skill and you're looking to improve your development, I was going to say skill, but if you're looking to improve, you just add a piece here and add a piece here, test, build, deploy, you know, and keep going, keep building it up. So,
Yep. Nice.
but yeah, I'm really glad that we did this. I think I learned a little bit as well because they
Mm-hmm.
include a little bit of APL stuff in here too, which was
Yep.
nice. But if there is anything else that you wanted to talk about, I think you had something you wanted to bring up.
I did.
Um,
First off, I need to remove my at W Rungholt. But anyways,
let's do that.
uh,
Let's do that.
I wanted to invite everyone to my Slack, not Slack, Discord. Um, this is a great way to get a hold of me. If you want to either get a hold of me or Kevin, because Kevin's in there. I believe he is. He
Yes,
should be.
yeah, absolutely.
Uh,
Yep, I'm there.
uh, you just post in any of the channels. There's a technology area, but anywhere if you want to just chat. I like to everyone to uh, ask any questions there. Also, when I try to upload it to YouTube, but I'm not always great at that. So if you are watching this on YouTube and you're wondering, you're like, hey, I wonder something, you can always post stuff in the comments below. But I just wanted to throw that out there. Our Discord is available. Um,
Yeah, yeah, that's perfect. Build up a nice little community there.
and then the, did you actually have a? You did not. Oh my gosh.
So I didn't include a beam this week, only for the fact that I wanted to make sure we had enough time to get through this skill build today. But
Nice.
and I know that we had talked about this earlier, and if you want to spend a little more extra time on this, I am all for it.
Okay, so this is I will be more in depth. I was just going to kind of show this character creator right here.
Hmm.
I got this actually a part of a Humble bundle on Unity, but it's a standalone application, which is great. I found out that is working great for my. I should just mute you so I can say the word or not. My A skills, like more importantly, right now is not Space Marauders, but Powers Fighter. Most of the people don't even know I have that skill because I do not promote it enough. But it was one of my first games. Um, uh, and I put a lot into it right out the bat. And also the year after that, I had a story mode, but and people play it, but just not a lot. Not a lot of people. So I've been revamping it, and this is going to give it even a more leg up because um, let me um, see if I can pull that up. Um, didn't I send it to you? I have some
Uh,
images, but I
you
was
had yes in Discord you had sent me a link. I will throw it in the Twitch chat real quick.
okay. Cool. Also, I have these images as well.
This is what you had sent me. I put that in the Twitch chat.
Yeah. So I created a Lottie file of this character I created in this application called Character Creator 2D of just this a monkey dude in an idle position. He's just bobbing, you know. I have many other ones I just did today, but I have not created the actual video yet. But I will show you like some images. So here is, oops. Here is this is Alkema. Alkema is a character you can unlock when you play through the story mode. This is her aiming her gun. But I have her in idle mode, dying, hit, a wide stance, idle mode. And then also what's great about this thing is trying to talk and open things at the same time.
Do everything all at once, right?
Is that you can get all the parts of the character. And I suppose I could just do that. Yeah, there we go. Here's all the parts of the character. So you can use this to create your own movements and whatnot. I know there is programs like Character Animator by Adobe. I'm sure there's other ones out there, but yeah, that you can totally do whatever you would want to with this like parts one.
Right, customized to your heart's content. Yeah.
So that was Charity, by the way. Here is Lars Thunder Squat.
There you go.
So Sharpie Sharp is a lot different. I had to be very creative with Sharpie Sharp. I wasn't extremely happy with him, but I think he'll do.
Okay.
So this is Sharpie Sharp. And all these I have idle. I have some attacks. Like this one, you see that he's swiping his swords.
Well, that's neat.
And then we got Randall. I think Randall came out pretty good compared to his other one.
Nice.
And the last that I've created is Lilith. Lilith is a poison spraying chick. So I also put her she has a golden gun also, because why not?
Why not? That's right. Lilith was always my go-to.
But yeah, those are all created with that tool. It's super amazing.
Yeah.
I'm glad
Pretty
I found
user
it.
friendly.
Oh yeah, super easy.
Cool.
Is not as much customization as like my other character creator that I've used, but this has animation and the other one doesn't. So
yeah,
it has a little leg up on them.
Makes a difference for sure.
Hmm.
Well, it is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm super excited. So pretty much I never pointed it out, but these Lottie files can go into APL. You can have this in APL. So I can drop this. It's not as easy as dropping it in, but I can
Right.
have this code of this idle uh, gorilla
Animation,
dude
right? Yeah.
animation, uh, and at the start of the match, he could be just in his idle mode. Like
Right.
I had to program that into the 2D characters before, and it didn't always look the greatest. So
Hmm.
this is a way to make them look great. At least I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I mean, it has a nice, character bob to it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's subtle, but it's there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then
Yep.
just seeing all those other animations is pretty cool. Really cool.
Punching, kicks, slashing. I
Yeah,
do.
the weapon effect was nice.
I do have aiming also. I could do the shooting. There is a shooting one, but I was
Mhm.
thinking to have my own um, shooting effect. But who
Right.
knows? Who knows what I'll do?
Oh, cool.
But
Something to
yeah.
keep my eye on. Then.
So
Neat.
this is what I wanted to share with everyone.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that. That was a good one. Cool.
Um,
Um, but other than that, I guess we will be back next week.
yep.
Um, and we'll come up with might jump back into our typical format. We might come
Hmm.
up with something new. We'll see what we get into. So,
Yeah.
but
We haven't had a
we
guest
appreciate
either in a while, so maybe one of these days
that's
we'll
true.
have a guest.
That
So,
sounds good.
alrighty.
All right.
Well,
Well,
everyone,
on that note,
take it easy, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
yeah,
Bye,
take
everyone.
care, everybody.